can't film out there.
Film where?
Out in the record. You can't do the records area.
Why?
Because it's not a public area.
It's not public? It's open to the public in here, right?
It's open to the public, but you can't use any electronics in the records room.
No recording back there, okay? The county clerk.
The First Amendment of the Constitution grants me the right of freedom of the press. Publicly accessible. If I walk back there with a camera in my hand, what would I be arrested for?
Well, I guess that would have to be determined.
Some type of obstruction or disorderly conduct.
It would be disorderly conduct to hold a camera back there. It's publicly accessible.
Located, it's a secure storage area.
It's secure if you don't have a camera, guys.
Because the camera represents a violation of security for this area. Any type of digital recording, we don't allow laptops.
Nah, it's about
back
money.
there.
It's about money, fam.
Video recording the public records room.
I want to go in there, open a book.
You
Take a
can't
picture.
take the camera in there to record out of the book.
But the public's allowed in there without a camera.
That's right.
Thank you. The records room here, and then
There's a flat button on the top.
got it. Just see what we got here. Miscellaneous paperwork here. Some of these things are old. I'd like to thank you guys for inviting me down here because a lot of people in this field, especially people who watch the videos, say the only way to get change is to create lawsuits, sue the county, do all that, and I like to disagree with that.
Listen, y'all, these kids want to act up in school, want to go to school and embarrass you, want to make like they got no home training. So I told my son, don't go to school embarrassing no more. I'll take care of you, son. I give you anything you want. I discipline you. But you're going to embarrass me like this? No, so now I'm going to cut his hair.
Oh, I gotta ask you,
With all of it.
I saw you were in a restricted area. Now I want your identification.
You're not getting it.
Don't embarrass me. I told him, don't embarrass me. No.
Erie County fam, this is a follow-up video of Seneca County office building where the original visit, they would not allow us in the records room because we had a camera in our hand. I'm gonna go ahead and show you some clips from that original visit. It was a train wreck. If you guys want to see the full video, I will link that in the description, and then we will go ahead and get into the follow-up video where the policy has changed due to activism. Let's get at it, fam. No, I'm just here to take some photographs of the office.
Pardon me?
I'm just here to take some photographs of the office.
Or,
I'm working on a story on the county building here in Seneca County.
okay,
I'm just taking some photos for the story I'm working on, that's all.
okay, but what offices are you going to be taking photos of?
All the public, just the publicly accessible areas.
Okay, so that's this here, and there's none in motor vehicles.
Why not?
Because of the privacy law for documents and stuff. Did
You-
you check in with, security?
I mean, I came through security.
Okay. Hi, is John here?
Yep.
Yep, okay,
Talk to Dave.
okay.
Yeah, we got.
You can't film out there,
Film where?
out in the record, you can't do the records area,
Why?
because it's not a public area.
It's not public?
No.
So the public records are not publicly accessible?
You have to, leave all electronics here, we can't
But
have.
that's open to the public in here, right?
It's open to the public, but you can't use any electronics in the records room.
So this is a public lobby. We should be able to go back in here.
No, if you cannot use electronics back there once you pass that wall, so no.
Where is this law? I'd like to see this law here. If it's open to the public, it's open to the press.
County Clerk will be down to have a chat with you, okay? Sorry. They just said that you can record back there, okay?
Sir, I'm in public. Are you a police officer, a sheriff, deputy? Do you not know the law?
No recording back there, okay? The county clerk.
The First Amendment of the Constitution grants me the right of freedom of the press.
County Clerk will be down in a second to have a conversation with you, okay?
Yep, he'll escort you around, show you around.
I don't need an escort. I was just getting some photos for
You
my
wanna
story.
know where certain things are in the building?
No, I want to take some pictures of the public records.
I-
There's no law against it in this state. There's no law against me walking past here to the publicly accessible areas.
You can, but you can't use your camera.
I can.
There's no electronic.
It's a First Amendment protected activity back there.
All right, can I ask you to step out till the county attorney gets here then, please?
You can ask. I'm not done with my business. I need to take some footage of what's available back there.
Okay.
Hi, sir. Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm just here to. I don't really need any help. I just need to take some photos of all the publicly accessible areas.
This is it right here, and
She said this is open to the public back
it's
here.
this is a security area for photographs because of the nature of the clerk's office. So I need to ask you to get
The
out.
public
with your camera.
records?
Yes,
What law is that?
it's most of these records are secured records.
All these.
Yes.
She just said it's publicly accessible. People can go back there and look at
No,
records.
people can't
But
go
they
back
can't
there.
take a camera back there.
You can't take a camera back
See,
there.
that's unconstitutional. That's
Well,
illegal.
you want to discuss that later? We can move outside now.
Why do I have to move outside? Because I'm video recording?
Because you're interfering with her.
I'm
ability
not
to do her
interfering
job. Yes, you
with
are.
anything. I'm silently recording
Okay,
and talking
well,
to
then
you.
fine.
Now, I want to know the law that prevents people from taking pictures of public records here.
I'm not your attorney, so I'm not going to provide that information for you.
You're just going to stand in my way?
Well, I'm going to keep you in the area that the people are allowed to enter for public purpose, for businesses with the clerk's office.
I have business here, official business.
Okay,
I'm working under the freedom of the press.
I understand that.
It's going to be a bad look for this county.
Not at all.
It absolutely is. I have no problem walking into a camera into any public records office in any other county in this state.
Take it up with their county clerk.
The
That's
county
our rules.
clerk does not have the authority to block a camera from back here is what I'm saying. Don't you understand that? And you're detaining me out of a
I'm not
publicly...
detaining. This
you
is
are
this
detaining
is
me out
not
of a publicly...
publicly accessible area.
It is.
This is a
It
workroom for
is.
the clerk's
They got some
office.
lamination law here, laminator law. They made this up. They don't have the authority.
This is a work area for the
It's a
clerk's office.
It is, and I'm going to do some work back there.
No, you're not.
Where's the sheriff? Sheriff,
If you have records that you specifically want to look at, we'll be glad to assist you with that.
Sheriff, these guys are detaining me out of the publicly accessible
It's the
area. in
county
this office.
attorney, sir.
I'm not detaining you in any way. You're free to,
You guys-
free to go anywhere that the public can
So
go.
if I go back by the public records area, what will happen?
If
That's
you
publicly
enter an
accessible.
area- If you enter an area that is not open to the public, then you're not entering
She
that
just said that area is open to the public. What don't you understand about that? You're an attorney for the county. You should know about my civil rights.
area. I understand that, but I'm not your attorney. I'm the attorney for the county.
So if I go back in that area, you guys gonna arrest me? In the publicly accessible area in his office? Yeah, but that sign isn't a legal sign. It's not a law.
I guess I was supposed to drop the page to see you. How are you?
All right. You're gonna have to turn
So-
the camera off. You can sit there and look from here. That's fine.
Why do I have to turn the camera off to go back
Because
there?
you're not allowed to photograph in that area where these records
Why?
are.
What law is that? You guys can't enforce laws that exceed the Constitution, the First Amendment, freedom of the press. I have the right to go in any publicly accessible area and silently film. There's no law against it.
And this
You
is
guys are
the-
holding
this
me
is
out
a
here violating
restricted
civil.
area.
It is not.
It is.
It is not.
Yes.
So if I put my camera down, I can go back there.
Yes.
That's not restricted. That's a blatant lawsuit for the county,
If you wish to file a notice of claim, please go ahead and do so.
and that's what you want the public to know. This is the county attorney, guys. What's your name again?
My name is David Ettman.
David Ettman here, the county attorney, would rather file a lawsuit than follow the law around here.
No, I would be perfectly prepared to defend the county against your assertion. That's all.
My assertions of what? That's publicly accessible. You just said public's allowed there, unless I have a camera in my hand.
No electronics of any type are allowed back in this area.
Where's the law? Where's the law?
Pino, your basic security information, you set the requirements, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
because there is
Are you the actual county clerk?
Yeah, there are confidential records as established.
Are you the
by
actual
law.
elected county clerk? What was your name?
My name is Tina.
Tina, you're the elected clerk?
Yes.
This is Tina, the elected clerk, violating the First Amendment of the Constitution with her policies. She's got policies, and these guys are going to stand
Sir,
in my
you're
way.
You're not allowed to make your own public. If you want to make a public statement, please go ahead and do so. But
I'm
you-
narrating my video. I'm not talking to
Okay,
you.
then that's fine.
Well, leave me alone. So this is the county clerk here blocking off the areas, violating the Constitution, not upholding an oath she took as a public official. Sheriff,
Yes, sir.
If I walked back into this publicly accessible area, because he says it's publicly accessible as long as I'm not holding my camera in my hand, right? It's publicly accessible. If I walk back there with a camera in my hand, what would I be arrested for?
Well, I guess that would have to be determined.
Some type of obstruction or disorderly conduct.
It would be disorderly conduct to hold a camera back there, but it's publicly accessible.
Violation of the regulations.
Oh man, you guys are making
Go for
prime
it.
time. So do you agree with that would be a obstruction or disorderly?
discuss
If
that.
I'm allowed to
We're not-
walk
we're
back
not
there,
prepared
Sheriff.
to give you an
Now you swore an oath to the Constitution to be a sheriff. If I walk back there without my camera, it's not disorderly. But if I have a camera in my hand that's disorderly, do you agree with that statement?
I'm not in a position to render any type of judgment at this time.
Well, I mean, if I walk back there right now, you would have to render whether you're going to arrest me or not for disorderly. Look at that smug smile, guys. He thinks he owns this place.
No, I
They
don't.
think they own these records.
Actually, the clerk's,
I would like to
the
see.
clerk's
I would
office
like
is
to see the
responsible for
law.
records.
I'd like to see the law
Then find your attorney.
that shows me I can't be back there
Find your
with a
attorney.
camera. But
Go
the
ask your
public
own
is
attorney.
public is allowed back there.
Ask your own attorney.
I don't need an attorney to know that you guys are violating the Constitution. Listen to what you're saying. I'm allowed to walk back there, but if I have a camera in my hand, I'm not
Because
allowed to.
you're
It's
not allowed to
disorderly.
go back there because there are confidential records.
What would you have out to the public that's open to the public without a camera?
The trouble is that there's no guarantee you're not going to go. You say you have business back there, that's fine. But if you're going to open a file cabinet or anything like that, or access information,
What would stop
from
somebody
the computer-
from? What would the point of the public being allowed to go back there if they don't have a camera? If they can't touch them books?
They can,
All right, so they're not.
but you have a camera.
Restricted
in your hand.
access.
I cannot let you back there with the camera back there.
I like it. Every time you say it, it just makes the lawsuit so much stronger. Every time you say I'm
I would
allowed back there.
appreciate your opportunity to defend the county in an appropriate time.
This guy, look at him. County attorney down here in Seneca County. Bad representation of the people. This is a publicly accessible area. If I don't have a camera in my hand, guys,
Where the records are located, it's a secure storage area.
it's secure if you don't have a camera, guys.
Because the camera represents a violation of security for this area. Any type of digital recording, we don't allow laptops.
No, it's about
back there.
money. It's about money, fan. It's all about the money for the records. You guys don't want people taking their own records.
Sure you can. You can come and look at your own records, that's fine.
But you can't take a picture here.
You're not allowed to record them in here.
Where is the law on that? There's no law. There's no law. You guys are going off the.
I'm not quoting
You guys are,
the law
you guys
to
are
you,
literally
sir.
going off FOIL request law.
No, the FOIL doesn't apply down here.
You can't FOIL these records out here?
No, not specifically.
How would you get these records?
You have a right to your own records.
All right, so if somebody wanted to do a public records request, what would you call it down here?
They could make a public records request and we would
Under the
go
New
through
York
that.
State FOIL law, Freedom of
If you
Information
make
law.
it that way, but simply walking in here attempting to get your records isn't the way it's done.
You just said it's open to the public if I don't have a camera.
I agree, but you can't take records out of
I
here.
agree, you're violating my rights just every time you say that. All right, guys, I think it's pointless to sit here and argue with this guy. He's obviously has no good intentions for the county. Why we can't walk in there? I've walked in just about every county office in this state and video record their public records room with no problems.
You're video recording the public records room.
I want to go in there, open a book.
You
Take a
can't
picture.
take the camera in there to record out of the book.
But the public's allowed in there without a camera?
That's right.
Thank you.
You can't enter the DMV with a camera either.
Why?
You cannot take pictures of anybody in the public.
What law is that? I
You
can't
cannot take pictures of public.
of people in public?
You cannot take pictures of non-governmental employees, non-county employees in the DMV office.
Is that also a law?
That's under privacy law.
I'd like to see that law as well.
Every individual has a right to privacy.
Don't take no photos of DMV photos right there.
Without their consent or permission.
Privacy and public laws here, huh? That's what they got. They got some privacy and public laws, guys. It's been blocking the view. Unbelievable. That, Erie County fam, was our experience the first time we showed up at the Seneca County Building. Now they're locking doors, closing off doors, closing offices. If you want to see that full video, go ahead into the description. Watch that video first, then join back here for the new follow-up.
These are mag locks. They
Is he
close
closing all these doors?
automatically. Why does he have this
Why did you do this?
You know why they're doing that?
Why?
Because I'm videotaping and taking pictures inside City Hall or County Hall here. They're freaking out. What's your position here?
I'm with the facilities department.
Unfortunately, down here in Seneca County, civil rights violations. I just want to get one more video of the county clerk elected position locking people out of there for a camera. This office has got open business hours though. Look at that, guys, it's locked. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, between 8 and 3. We're definitely, it is 12:06, guys. I don't see that this door should be locked off to the public during business hours. County clerk's office also locked off during business hours, all because of a camera. Down here today, it is March 22nd. We are back at the Seneca County Building. I know we had some discrepancies with the county clerk's office not allowing us in the records room where the public is allowed, just not allowed to take a camera in there, which is unconstitutional. And some of the county board members contacted us to come on down here and have a talk about it. So let's go ahead and see what they wanted to talk about. And it's about 62 degrees out, maybe a little early spring, and let's get inside. How you doing? Must be the guy.
I'm a guy. How you doing?
How you doing?
Not bad. You want to start in here? Or do you want to go upstairs? Where do you want to start?
We can start in here.
Let's start in here. I don't think last time you were here, I don't think you met our county manager, Mitch Rowe.
No, I think you were not here when I was. I think you were not quite here yet. Anyways, yeah. My name is Dan. Obviously you know who I am and my cause is, and so I guess we're welcome to.
Did you meet Tina?
Yeah,
our county clerk?
Tina.
Okay.
So as far as the policy of not being able to take a camera in that room, is that policy taken care of, or am we allowed to take a camera in this records area?
I would like to answer that, if I can answer that without you interrupting me this time. You may enter the records room with a camera. If somebody is out there working, you cannot go to that side of the room where they are, because what they're working on is not a public record at that time. Books you can open. If you take a photo of them, you have to pay 65 cents a page, which we're allowed by county law to charge that. The court cases, if you have a court case that you want pulled, we will pull it for you and redact. The older cases that are out there have social security numbers on them because that law didn't change until the early 90s. So the social security numbers would have to be redacted.
All right, and as far as if I go into the records room and I open up a record and take a photo, where is the ruling that you get paid for that?
CPLR 8019.
That's if you do the work.
That's what we charge.
Yeah,
everybody.
that's what you would charge if you do the work. But what I'm saying is, if you don't do the work, you wouldn't get paid.
Right, but we charge.
By law.
But we charge everyone so that that's how we maintain our records and the books and keep them in good shape. That's
Right.
how we fund that.
But what I'm saying is the law, I'm very familiar with the law because I've been to every county in the Western District of New York so far, including Cayuga County, which is just outside. And I plan on doing the whole state and going through the whole state of every county offices and that. And I'm very familiar with the law.
Mm-hmm.
And the law is there so that you guys get paid for doing the work.
Correct.
Now, if I'm in there right now and you're saying that if I take a photograph of a public document that I'm able to pick up and look at, that you would need to charge me for doing that, and that's inaccurate. According to the law, that is if you do the work.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's times, very, very many times when you do the work. Like for instance, if somebody needs a certified copy,
Mm-hmm.
there's no way I could take a picture of that and get a certified copy. I'd have to pay you to do it and certify it.
That's correct.
Right. Now, if you were to go back there, manual labor, pick it up, make a copy, fill out a request, then you would get paid. But like to say that if I take a photograph back there of a map or just a document, I'm not after any specific document, just to make sure that I can go back there with a camera, as long as the press is, or the people are allowed back there, a camera is allowed back there. Now, you have a policy before that, no electronic devices back there.
That's correct.
No electronic devices other than a camera, I'm sure you can enforce. No food back there, that's enforceable. But the camera is a First Amendment protected activity. So I'd just like to talk to you about, if I'm gonna go back there now, I'm gonna take some pictures of the area, and I probably will pick up a document, but I don't plan on paying you to take a picture because I'm not paying you to do any work.
Okay, I'll put the 65 cents in for you. I'm not gonna argue with you over 65 cents.
If you want to pay for me to do it, it's
I'll
up
put
to you,
the money
but
into the county, yes.
that's not the way that the law works. So Erie County fam, let's pause for a quick second and go ahead and look at this law that Tina has just quoted, 8019, the County Clerk's General Rules. We'll scroll through it here. You can go ahead and pause it if you want to read the whole thing. Let's go ahead and get it down to the bottom here so we can see what the fees actually are. Most of this here is regulations for different counties, also different abilities for them not to charge courts or state municipalities. So Erie County fam, if you go ahead and look at number 1 on this thing, what does it say? To prepare a copy. Looking at number 2, what does it say? To certify a prepared copy. Looking at number 3, what does it say? To prepare and certify a copy. Looking at number 4, what does it say? To prepare and certify a copy once again. And Erie County fam, what does number 5 say? To prepare a copy. So in all 5 categories where they can charge for copies or certifying, it all comes down to the word to prepare. That is an action. That is what they get paid for. They don't get paid for the records themselves. They are public records. Also, Erie County fam, if you read that whole thing, take note. Nowhere in this law does it say that we are not allowed to take a photo, that we are not allowed to photograph our own documents. They are public records. They belong to the public. And that law isn't there, so that law, in an essence, isn't there so to say, like, you get paid 60 cents per copy. That law really is there, so, like, say I'm suing the county, right? But I need these public documents and I need a certified copy. That's saying you can't charge $800 a page to make it impossible for me. That's more of a ceiling than it is for you to, that law is in effect to make this a making our organization of public records. It's more or less that you get paid for your service and your time, and that is more of a ceiling than it is a charge. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Where if I was suing the county and the county didn't want me to sue them and they wanted to make it difficult for me, they would charge, $800 a page. That way I can't afford.
County.
What's that?
Not in Seneca County.
No, I'm just
That's
saying
not
that,
how we operate.
I'm just saying
I understand.
that's why the law is in existence. It's not in existence so that, you guys get to make money on it, so that you get paid for the material, the paper to be printed on and that. But like I said, I've been in every county. I've read that law many over, and that county law is not just the Seneca County law. That's a state. That's a state law that it governs the counties of all the state counties in the state. So I'm very well aware of it, and there's no way for you to charge me or anybody else who takes a camera and takes a picture. But like the camera being a protected First Amendment protected activity is not quite the something that you can have a policy that prevents somebody from going back there with an electronic device such as a camera or a cell phone, because it's a First Amendment protected activity. And that's all I wanted to be clear on, because like I said, I've been to every county building. I've been in every single records room. A lot of them, when I started off with this 2 years ago, they all had that policy. And it was all about the money. And the policy is so that you guys can get paid for your work. But, somebody just coming in here working on a story like a journalist and takes a picture of a document, or, some of these books are pretty old and, they got some age to them. And, I just like to show that off. I'm not here to cause problems for you. I've heard that you've gotten some threats.
I've had 2 death threats.
And I definitely, I want to go on record, hold this for a second, so both of them. And I definitely want to go on the record and say that anybody who does threaten is not a constitutional right. It is a constitutional right to redress your grievances to your government. to, you know, tell them, hey, I don't like what you're doing here. You need to change policy. I think that's inappropriate. But to go beyond that, that turns into a crime to threaten someone like Tina here. Tina does not deserve to have threats. At no point, her blocking me in there, was it worth a death threat or any type of threat like that, because, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, we want to exercise our rights, but without death threats, we can get this done and do activism and get these policies changed so that nobody has to feel threatened like Tina. I certainly don't want Tina to feel like she's got to watch her back coming out of here, and I don't condone that. I never will condone that, and anybody who ever does phone in a threat or emails a threat is definitely not part of the Erie County community or family. So I do want to state that, and I want to make that very clear, and I want to make that clear on video that that is inappropriate, and death threats or any threats of violence is not a constitutional right to redress your grievances. That's not covered under the First Amendment. If somebody wants to, you know, write an email and say, you asshole, or, you know, you jerk, you know, these are protected activities. But to go beyond, you asshole, I'm going to show up in the bushes, as I've heard from, you know, some of the county management here, that's above and beyond, that is not a constitutional right and is unacceptable. So I do want to put that out there, and I don't want you to feel threatened by anybody, and anybody that does go on above and beyond the constitutional right of redressing their grievances is definitely not part of my people or my following, or as I call them, the Erie County family. The Erie County fam.
And that's what they say they're calling on behalf of.
And
they called.
I just want to put it out there. I want to go on the record that that is not appropriate, and I don't ever want, you know, a public employee feeling that their life, because taking a photograph of these documents, yeah, it may be constitutionally protected, but it's not constitutionally protected that somebody's life should be on danger or ever feel threatened, or it's very inappropriate. So I'd like to just go back.
And that's why I reached out to you, you know, when I called you, because, you know, you have a right, you know, to do your cause and go after it, and I have no trouble with that. But when somebody's life is threatened over this, that's where we draw the line. You know,
Yeah,
that's why
and I totally agree. I disapprove of that. I have a disclaimer, and usually where you find phone numbers or public information of where the you know, location of this place, and that it is never my interpretation that somebody should go above their constitutional right to either take photography or redress their, you know, their grievances, because it is a right, but it is definitely not a right to go beyond that. And I disapprove of it, and I would condone anybody that would even think twice of making any type of threats like that. So
good. That's very good to hear. So we appreciate
take a
that.
walk through the records room here, and then
There's a flat button on the top.
got it. There's a fee for making copies. Now, Tina did say that if we pull public records, she's gonna, you know, put the 65 cents in. She definitely does not need to do that. These public records are part of the public's domain. We are in a publicly accessible area. The camera is definitely allowed here. You see some of these old desks, some of these old books here. So all those people who said that we need to take an arrest or do something illegal to get to this point is definitely not the facts. At the end of the day, you know, redressing your grievance respectfully does get the job done. The city management here definitely does not appreciate the way that the county looks through Mr. Ettman's behavior and through the policy that is unconstitutional, because they do get to see the rest of the counties and the rest of the people who did allow our constitutional rights. And so this is the public records room, and let's just see what we got here. Miscellaneous paperwork here. Some of these things are old. Yeah, some of these books are old. mortgages. Over here real quick. So all these records are publicly accessible. Anybody can come in here, and any journalists working on a story are allowed to bring a camera back here. I know this sign over here says no cell phones, but as you guys can see, I have my cell phone in this records room. There's no reason they would want to ban a cell phone in here. So that should conclude our view of the records room.
Yeah. Yep. No, that's fine.
As you can see, the sign that we did have up over here is gone. So
this is not a publicly accessible area.
It is.
This is a workroom for the clerk's
They got
office.
some lamination law here, laminator law. They made this up. They don't have the authority.
This is a work area.
Do give sincere apologies to. I never meant for anybody to feel uncomfortable, or it's not what I'm here for. I'm here for positive change. I'm here to change policies. At the end of the day, we're all Americans. We got to remember to be Americans, and that Constitution is something that is very valuable to the people.
Absolutely.
And, you go to other countries that don't have a lot of these constitutional rights, and that's why everybody wants to come to America, because it is the greatest land in the world because of that Constitution. So,
I understand that.
thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Walk or ride?
Up to you. Let's take the elevator. That way we're not out of breath on the camera. Like the first time I came here and I ran up them stairs to ditch Mr. Ettman. Dust this old bitch on the stairs. Dust him on the stairs.
You got your workout that day, huh?
Yeah, sometimes you do that. Yeah, thank you guys for inviting me down here, because a lot of people in this field, especially people who watch the videos, say the only way to get change is to create lawsuits, sue the county, do all that, and I like to disagree with that, and I like to do stuff more civilly, because the last thing I really want is taxpayer money for people who either uneducated or and they're not going to be the ones that are going to pay out on the end of the day anyways. The only people losing there is the taxpayers. So I appreciate this opportunity to come down here and talk to you guys, and the fact that you guys seen the image that the videos put out, and you guys wanted to make some positive change here. So I do want to thank you. We got Chris?
Mike.
Or, I'm sorry,
Mike Henslow.
Mike Henslow and Mitch Rowe. And this is the city, or the county manager, and you're
Board chairman.
Board chairman.
Yep.
You're recently elected on, or you've been here
This
for
year, yep, this is my first term.
year?
Yep, as chairman. I've been on the board for 4 years.
4 years. And how long have you been the county manager?
This is my second tenure, but I've been the county manager since the fall of 18, so going on 5 years.
All right. So, obviously, we know why we're here. I'm glad that there were some policy changes made, and I'm sure the people will definitely appreciate it. We definitely address some of the death threats and inappropriate behavior. And was there anything you guys like to add? I mean, as far as, you know, what you thought of the first video or the second visit, or?
Well, you know, seeing the first video and the second video, we did not send a good message how our county was, you know, being perceived. And obviously it brought to our attention that we needed to relook at some things that were going on and reevaluate them and see what we could do better. Because our goal is not to be secretive or not transparent, or, you know, 3 men in a room. That's not what our goal here is, you know. And that's not what I'm about. It's not what Mitch is about. I don't believe that's what our county government's about. You know, we're trying to do better. You know, we can always do better, right? We're only human at the end of the day. I commend, you know, Tina. We talked, you know, and thought about it, and you see she took down the signs. You know, I mean, she is an elected official just like me, you know, and I'm not her boss. You know, I said that to you on the phone.
We definitely talked about
yeah,
that on
I'm
the
not
phone.
her
It's not
boss.
as easy as you just saying,
Yeah,
Tina, this is the
right.
way it is. You know, she is an elected official. She does run that office.
Right. So, but I commend Tina for thinking about it. You know, and you know, this is one thing we can change. You know, we can be more transparent about it. And I think she did good with that. You know, and I don't want people thinking that we're trying to be that 3 men in a room secret government, because that's not what I'm about. That's for sure. And you know, but the death threats that Tina received and some of the voicemails and, you know, stuff that people have left, it's just not good. You can have a cause, you can have, you know, have a movement. We got nothing against that, but, you know, and like I told you on the phone when I first reached out to you that day, there was some very, very bad threats there, you know, and I think that's a line that we shouldn't go down. We got a copy of the county budget if you wanted to take it and have some reading material, you know. So, but, you know, that's what I think is that when that came out, the first, second video, we obviously still, you know, we hadn't got to the point where we hadn't got things addressed, you know, by the time the second gentleman came. But, you know, I feel like we're moving in the right direction. We're not perfect, but we're going to try to do better as far as I'm concerned. I know, Mitch.
I would tell you sincerely that Tina, this is my 40th year in working in public service, and Tina is at or near the top of the most dedicated public servants I've ever worked with. I don't think, and you've been in a lot of county buildings, I don't know that you've seen another elected county clerk who's at the front counter. She's an elected official. Most county clerks have staff, and they're in their office. She's out front. She's very mindful of the taxpayers' bottom line. She works very hard, and I felt bad for what she's been going through. Again, elected official, she makes her own decisions. I feel like as of today, we all are in a better place, hopefully. When you share this with your followers and colleagues, they will appreciate where we've come. And, you know, I'm committed to transparency and opency. I feel bad. That morning I had to take the morning off. I can't remember if it was a doctor's appointment, but I was not in the building. I know you had stopped up to my office. I was here when Peter came in, and after he had made his visit downstairs, he came up, he and I had a really good chat. He turned his camera off while we talked, and he filed for some information on county salaries and the like. I helped him file a freedom of information request. He submitted it, he got the information he was looking for, and so yeah.
I think one of the worst things that I ever hear from a government employee, and for instance, Mr. Ettman himself said it, is, hey, we take lawsuits. You know, and for a government official, I think I had one county clerk in the past say something like that to me, and it's beyond me why we wouldn't want to get to the bottom of it before we file a lawsuit and cost taxpayers money. And at the end of the day, we all work in public service. We all work for the people, so we should want to get to the bottom of things. So I'm definitely glad that you guys brought me down here. And to go off what you said about Tina as a county clerk being in the office and out front, I tell you right now, I'm from Erie County. I've been to that county building, the county clerk's building, at least 4 times, and I've yet to see Mike Kern Mickey to call me back or see him in the building or where he works in that building. So I do say that obviously Seneca County is probably a little bit smaller in population to Erie County, but at the same time, that clarity that she is there, that is appreciated. And there's other counties. I definitely have some other counties where I had some issues. Chautauqua County said the same thing. Well, we take lawsuits if you want it, and I came back for a second visit, and he apologized and realized that, like.
I saw that video. I've watched, not all of them, but I've watched a number of them.
Are you a Erie County fan?
I'm not, I'd call it a subscriber. I'm not subscribed, but I watched a bunch of them, and then Wyoming County, watched that.
Wyoming County was a banger. I actually got a lawsuit going on with them. Well, like I said, I don't like filing lawsuits for one reason. One, it comes out of taxpayers' pocket. 2, these things take 3 to 5 years to settle. And, there's court appearances and a lot of wasted time on everybody's end. So, it's greatly appreciated to be able to come down here and talk to the board, talk to the chairman and the county manager, and sort things out without having to go to court, without having to cause any more taxpayer wasted time and money. And a lot of people say, you can't cause positive change without filing a lawsuit, and that's just not the facts. As you can see right here in Seneca County, we're sitting down with the county board, and we did create some change. And I like to think it's not because of death threats. I like to think it's because the image that we didn't like to see versus like I said, I've been to every county in this western district, and that up until today is the only records room I have not been able to get into with my camera. So I appreciate the change, and definitely not having to file a lawsuit and draft a lawyer and all that. So I do appreciate that. So, is there anything else you guys like to add about what you've seen? Or?
I'm good. I'm glad you came down and made the time and agreed to meet with us so we could.
You guys have talked with Mr. Ettman?
Several. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have, not.
Well, I'm glad you did, because he is a county attorney. I do understand that he represents the county, but he's got to also understand he represents that image of the county too when he says stuff like, well, file a lawsuit, I'd love to defend it in court. It's definitely not something the public likes to hear. And one of the things that I bring awareness to when I come down here, and the first time I come down here with just a cell phone camera. Since then I've upgraded to a little bit bigger of a camera, just because I keep my cell phone free and a little bit better picture. And anybody can be the press. You're the press, I'm the press, you're the press, anybody, because we all have that right to the freedom of press. And just as we can speak and we can run a camera, anybody can be the press at any time. So I'm glad we all come to a great conclusion down here, and thank you guys for having me. And
thank you.
I'm glad that, and I think the Erie County fan would be definitely happy to see the change in results. But I will say we got a new term in the auditing Erie County family term. So we got 2 types of auditing Erie County fan. We got the auditing Erie County fam, the subscribers, the people who like watching the videos. They like it for entertainment purposes, they like it for educational purposes, and they like to see accountability in the government. And then we call them the Erie County fam. The other ones we call the people who watch it because they have to, but they don't like it. We call those Erie County fam in-laws. So Mitch, hit that subscribe button so you're not an Erie County fam in-law, because nobody likes the in-laws, but they gotta be there. No, I'm just kidding.
Understood. All right.
Thank you for having me down here, Mitch. And,
Thank you,
thank you for
Mike.
having me, Mike.
Yeah, thank you.
So, got our official copy of the county budget, and I'll see you guys in the comments section. These clerks in the DMV just said, and he's taping us, and they're going to call Tina back in here and have a fit about it. I still think they could use a little education.
Huh? Well, he's raping us. Here. Thank you. Come here. Noah.
Approve. Mom, approve.
No. Enough.
Down up on your head.
Enough. Here.
No, that's big.
Your daddy's almost done. Come.
Sorry. Oh, you're good. Sorry, they all right?
Yeah. Just getting some footage of the inside of the DMV here, that's all.
Noah. Noah.
What?
He'll be 3 in May. Yeah. It's crazy, that's for sure.
Oh.
Oh, boy, mama's good.
I don't think I'm ready for this.
Girls are a lot of work.
Are they?
Yeah.
That's so wrong.
Noah. Here, baby. Noah.
Oh, are you protecting her?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm gonna clean up this circle here.
You can see they're still getting a little tight about filming inside that DMV. Some improvement. Still seems to think that possibly in that DMV that there is some expectation of privacy, and there's not, as long as you're not up at the counter collecting people's personal information. So let's see what you guys think of that, and I'll see you all in the comment section.
We live in a society now where people want to record how they discipline their child. People that might get mad with this video is the people that probably already embarrassed their child. You can discipline your child in their room. Take something away from them. If they act up, well, I'm like, son, you can't play the game.
It's gonna be a bad look for this county. Not at all. It absolutely is.
Well, you know, seeing the first video and the second video, we did not send a good message how our county was, being perceived.
Your name is not Dan Erie County. Your name is not Dan Erie County.
Sure it is. I'm here as Dan Erie County.